What's up, everyone? Let's dive into some tickers here. So, we've got NFLX here, losing 1 point on this declining 20-day moving average, losing 1 point on this 50-day moving average. Okay. We see that we just found some demand on the year-to-date VWAP low. Okay. Which is pretty much, it is the same price as the year-to-date. So, we're seeing some demand here at this 554, right? And we had this previous level of resistance in the past. Maybe now this could start to see this area act as support. So what we're looking at here on the intermediate time frame is we just had a recent rally from 544 to 580. That's about almost a 7% rally, 6.5% rally, right? We could see here half the data of our momentum of our 5-period moving average, 5-day moving average, excuse me, is actually in this little overbought range. So what I would prefer on Netflix is to maybe get a bounce on the 2-day VWAP, pull back to the 3-WAP, maybe get a little bounce there, pull back into here where we have the month-to-date VWAP and last week's VWAP. Okay. And maybe we could find some demand up in this VP level here. All right. Come back in here and then see the 2-day VWAP come here, 3-day VWAP, and then we would just like to see the month-to-date VWAP act as support up in this area. And then we could maybe look for an entry to get above that 2-day VWAP, to take a cheat entry above the 3-day VWAP, and then maybe this could be a level of supply on the intraday. Okay. And then what we could look for is a little pullback and then see this 2-day VWAP act as support and then get going. So it's a couple different opportunities depending on the risk level. We could wait for this confirmation and look, to take a cheat entry up in here. This would get 2-day VWAP and get above that daily VWAP at that time, and then put a potential stop, right up in this area here, or looking at here. But just looking for some chart construction, and then where can we find some potential supply is maybe up in this 601. So it's 573, 576, with a risk of 572, 570 for a push up, 570 to you're risking $2 to $4 for a $20 move. It's not too shabby. But like I said, this would be, I think, that's where we'd be looking for like a mean reversion trend, mean reversion play back into this 20-day VWAP, because we just found supply at the year-to-date VWAP high. So maybe we just set up a nice little inside day, maybe get a little shakeout, let this year-to-date VWAP low catch up a little bit, and then get going up. To that 20-day moving average and that 600 level we talked about. And one thing we're going to want to point out on this 20-day moving average, in 9 trading days, okay, that data on the 20-day moving average is going to drop by 13%. So if we could hold for 5 to 6 days in this area, and then once we start to trade above 7, 8, 9, well, what's going to happen to this 20-day moving average? It's going to continue to decline. But then once that data drops off, it's actually going to be able to flatten out and rise. And then we could start to get this 5-day moving average. This 5-day moving average that's down here come up, act as support. And we could get some trend alignment right up in here of the 5-day moving average coming up, and then that 20-day moving average starting to curl, flatten out, and then that would be 2 trend lines, and we can mean revert that into that 50-day moving average, because we still see here this 50-day moving average. We have all this data to take out. So maybe from a longer term, that is where we could rally, and then a couple weeks down the road, we get a little shakeout again. This actually could act as support, that year-to-date VWAP high, and then that's when we could get that fulfillment of the trend alignment of the 20, 50, and 5. Let's look into this Google. So Google's looking a little better. +1 above rising 20-day moving average, +1 rising 50-day moving average. All right, we're holding this area. Okay, had a little bit of supply here, and we gapped up above. So this is the play I sent in the Discord. Actually, is the gap up right here on the 5-day moving average. So we look for this to pull back, just like it's doing. Maybe this could get a little bit. See, we held this, got back above that. So we'll be looking on Google just a little dip, maybe into here. Just maybe a little dip, filling this VP level. See this continue to act as support. Okay. Then we get back above this 5-day moving average. It's declining right now, but we will be at the end of the day on Tuesday here. Tuesday will be here, right? So Wednesday, if we could get back above this price here, I think we could put a stop. We could look for an entry right here, and then we could look to get a stop up in this level. And then last week's week-to-date VWAP axis support, 5-day moving average axis support. Yeah, we got this little level of supply here. We could see we rallied right into this anchored VWAP from this gap up. So right, that's where we rallied. So maybe I'm not threatened by it too much, because it's a nice gap up. We got the earnings, so maybe we get some continuation, and then get that confirmation actually, where we get this purchase there. This VWAP ends up going, and we get above it a little bit on intraday and act as support. So that would be again our entry here, and then giving us confirmation that maybe this is the significant higher low, and we could get can get some continuation. I got to get some water. And then where could we get to? Maybe we fill this gap, and it's a very similar scenario I think we talked about before. Maybe get a little shakeout, and then again, then we could get going for all time continuation to that 200. So we're looking at 167. Okay, 167 area. This VWAP here, 167. Maybe with a stop under this 165. Right, let it pull back. Don't buy the dip. Don't buy the dip. Don't buy the dip. Let's get some strength after the dip for that confirmation, the evidence, or buyers of control. Let's look into Meta. All right, let's get this. Had some drawings here. My power actually went out and I was doing this video. So we could see this level was acting as supply, demand, and then we broke beneath it. The common theme on some of these other charts that we just talked about, if you look, NFLX, where did it rally to recently? The year-to-date VWAP high. Google. It rallied right to the year-to-date VWAP high recently. And that's what we actually talked about, was getting above that, acting as support. So what do we got here? A Meta? Well, maybe that could be a point of interest that we could continue this reversion up to. And that will give this some time. Maybe we could get this meta continue to push up. Maybe we'll get right back into here. And then I would love for it to come back anyways. And then all this data on the 5-day moving average, fit 20-day, because we still have 13 bars until it's trading underneath us. So this will continue to decline over the next couple of days, over the next 13 days, unless we just get a crazy rally up to here and then we can pull back and get going. But I would prefer, again, for meta, similar stories to the other ones, because we just rallied, we just rallied 9% in 6 days. So let's get a little cool off. Pull back into this week to day VWAP, 5-day moving average. Okay. And then start to get going into this level. Right. We could see this VP comes on the daily. Right. This would be, and that coincides with that year to day VWAP high that we talked about. Then maybe we could get back up in here. The year to day VWAP low could act as support. And then, that's 14 days or so. Now the next thing is this 20-day moving average flattening and rising. And again, we have evidence, confirmation, that's a little bit of trend alignment. The 20 and the 5-day, and maybe we can anticipate this pushing up to a triple top. Everyone talks about that. And then maybe we get a little shakeout down to here, right? And then as this 50-day moving average is trading up in this area, or you see over, basically that's 44 bars. We still got to take out. So, 20 bars up or so, pull back. Then we could look to see this 50-day moving average to actually act as support as well. And then we get the ultimate trend alignment. So that's something to be on the watch for. And then meta could get going like that. How long is this? So we got 12 minutes. Let's keep this rolling. I just want to look at PANW. That's what I was talking about. Let's remove all this. So what I was talking about recently was monitoring this 50-day moving average and this data that dropped off significantly. So this 50-day moving average, you could see, is actually already accelerating. Okay, it's on an incline. It's going up and sloping up because recently we just dropped off all this data. Okay, and you can see this 20-day moving average starting to flatten and rise and act as support here, breaking above the 50, and now we have a rising 20, 50, 200. What's happening on the intermediate time frame over here? Well, we just rallied from basically where's this? The 4th. So basically from this low, Friday the 4th, we rallied 15%. All right. So I would actually prefer, if we look at this data over the last 5 days, just a little tight. Let's keep this nice and tight. All right. Let's get this up in here. That's when we get this, can't just get underneath. And then this month to day VWAP, where you could see this month to day VWAP was finding some demand so far. So maybe we could get some confirmation and get another retest and look for that to be up in this area, this 295 and 290 stop for a push back up into 315, 311, 310. It's got this huge gap above up into here, 350. So Nancy Pelosi calls. What's the next one here? Moderna was recently looking. We'll get soon. This data on this 20-day moving average will start to decline. So this will actually be able to accelerate at a little bit more significant pace. So then from there, maybe we could get this pullback back into this 5-day moving average, undercut it, and then get to going, and then look to find some support right up in this area. This would be the 3-day VWAP, and get going up in here, and we could look for a nice little come on computer, little entry here, this 122, and stopping 118, 113, depending on your time frame and risk. But we'd be looking for this month to date VWAP, previous week to be support, and then this could end up getting this 136. Got a gap up here at 170. So that's something that's looking good. Give us one more here. Been looking at PayPal for some time now, and you can see I have a whole bunch of drawings here. So 200-day moving average will start to drop off significantly. So if we can continue to hold in this area, the 66, 65, we'll let the 50-day moving continue to rise. The 20-day moving average continue to rise. All right, so we're kind of getting this pullback where we're anticipating right now. Kind of want it pulling back into here. So maybe this week we could get some strength. All right, let's remove all our drawings. Maybe this week we could get some strength over here and get back above. Get it back above the 5-day moving average, right? Because on Wednesday, we'll actually be here. So Monday, we get this little push up, and then Tuesday, we could push back in, and then get going for Wednesday. This last week's week to date VWAP could act as support them, and actually look for that, and then maybe this is our stop. So we got 67, risking 64, or maybe we use this stop right here at 66.50. So if you're getting that entry back above here, right, then we could look for some from 67 to 70. Right, then it pulls back and really get going, like we talked about on the daily time frame over here. So yeah, that's some ideas I'm looking at. Have a good week.